Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the meeting to order at 5 p.m. and start with the land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that the land on which we gather is Treaty 2 land, traditional territory of Anishinaabe, Cree, Ojibwe, Assiniboine, Dakota, and Dene peoples, and homeland of the Métis Nation. We affirm our commitment to moving forward in partnership with Indigenous communities in a spirit of collaboration and reconciliation. I'd like to make the first motion by Councillor Daly, seconded by Councillor Ray. Be it resolved that the regular council meeting agenda be amended as follows, and we don't have any amendments because that is, so sorry, guys. It doesn't count as your first motion.
And we don't need this.
And we don't need this one?
There we go.
Right, here we go. All right. Moved by Councillor Stakilo, seconded by Councillor Daly. So there you go, Randy. You got your first one. Be it resolved that council accepts the regular council meeting agenda as presented. Any questions or comments about the agenda, folks? Seeing none, call for the question. All those in favor? Thank you. Moved by Councillor Ray, seconded by Councillor Stakilo. Be it resolved that council waives the reading and accepts and approves as circulated the minutes of the following meeting. And those are the minutes from our regular council meeting on May 29th, 2023. Questions or comments? All in favor? Anyone opposed? Seeing none. That's carried.
We need this. We'll add Deputy Mayor Laughlin here.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Moved by Councillor Sobering, seconded by Councillor Stakilo, whereas the Municipal Act, Section 160, bracket 2, states each member of council must attend the public hearing unless the member is excused by other members from attending, is unable to attend owing to illness, or is required under the Municipal Council Conflict of Interest Act to withdraw from hearing. Be it resolved that council excuses the following council member from the June 12th, 2023 public hearing, and that is Deputy Mayor Christian Laughlin. All those in favor? No one opposed. Is carried. All right, and moved by Councillor Daly, seconded by Councillor Sobering. Be it resolved that council now adjourns to hear the public hearing as scheduled. So there you go, all of that official business just to get to our first item on the meeting. So have a seat there, Jerry, and council will now commence to hear representation from the applicant and anyone else, but you're the only one in the room who wishes to make a presentation for the scheduled public hearing under the Planning Act. And anyone, and there's no one here, but who is not yet registered but wishes to make a presentation for the public hearing, please state your name, and we don't have to do that because no one else is here. So the item to be discussed is, as per our agenda, 4-4A1, variance application for 218 Buchanan Avenue. And registered to present today is Jerry Wheeler as acting as the applicant. So Jerry, take it. Let us know what you would like to comment on regarding your application.
No, I just want to thank the city for all their help over the years with making it easy or relatively easy to kind of expand and to kind of help with zoning and variances. It's something that we've really been prosperous, I guess, with regards to just the good working relationship with the city, and the need is still great. Just really like to encourage the city just in the motions that you guys make and some of the rules that you do, just to try to limit frustration points if possible. It's something that, and again, it's been very good to help with everything, but just the more that we can get encouraged, there's enough distractions and enough frustrations doing contracting and build, and right now the risk level is really high too, just with the interest rates. So that's where, if we can do that. Somebody, sorry. But that's where if we can get just just want to encourage that, with regards to it's the smoother that you can make it for people to develop and want to develop yeah, it's just gonna keep making Dauphin more prosperous. So yeah, and I just was wondering if there's any questions of me on that application.
Well, I can just, I'll, council has received all of the information, and that, you do want to make a small variation to an existing plan.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to, I'll open up to any members of council. Councilor Sticilo.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Just further to what you're speaking to there, Mr. Wheeler, in terms of, are there any specifics that you're just referring to that you care to share? Yeah.
No, sure. Thank you, Councillor Sticilo. It was probably the two there on Buchanan would be the recent ones. Like, so this, we had a slight change in our plan design so that it modified the building by about 2 feet. And so then it delayed, we had to resubmit our zoning and variances. And so if there was a little bit more cushion that could be built into some of the zoning, like it was a really, the whole base of the approval was much the same as what it was, but there was a small design change in the building as you get further along in engineering. And so it changed the parameters of the building by 2 feet. And so that kind of delayed it by another month. A little one we did, we took one of the uglier houses on Buchanan, 318 Buchanan, never was sided for 30 years. Changed it, we redid it, it's new windows, siding, and things like that. Didn't change anything to the outside structure of the building. Improved the value of it. We did the proper zoning and variances, but we were required to do a survey. So it kind of delayed things another 2 weeks, another $1,000 out of my pocket with regards to, and again, it's something, new build, no problem. Don't have a problem like getting a survey. We want to make sure it's on the right property line. This was an existing structure that's been in Dauphin. Well, the original part of the structure has been in Dauphin for, I think, 70 years. And then they had done an addition to it. So, and that had been up for, I think, 1980. So it's actually 43 years. We didn't change anything to the structure. But the rules of the permitting said that I was required to get a new survey, even though the building wasn't changed at all and had already gotten all the proper zoning and variances. And again, too, is we're okay doing it, and it was something that we did, but it was just, again, it's another 1,000, another 2 weeks delay just to get stuff done. So,
Jerry, can I ask you then, just to further that, and any other council member that Steve, as a developer, you may have a comment. So other municipalities are similar to us, much different than Dauphin. How would, like, have you done some projects elsewhere that you could give us an example of sort of that streamlined or approach?
no, and that's something too. So this, the survey part of it is actually just getting worked out. So that change happened in January 1st of last year, where every building permit required a survey. Previously, I think it was probably the building inspector's discretion whether or not he was comfortable with the location of the pins. And so if you could find the pins, and on my one property on Ash, I think I found all 4 survey pins, but I couldn't use it because the new rules require that a new survey be done. And so again, it was a new build, and it's something that I could price into the build. It was an extra $1,000, but it was, when they did the survey, it was within an inch of all the existing pins, but the survey guy moved it a little bit just to, see, look, now it's true, and it's something which is fine. It's so it's something too, is if, again, just that common sense, like, if there was beforehand, I think there was that common sense, but then it ended up becoming a carte blanche, where like, this is the brush, we paint everything, and so that's where my Buchanan property was one of those that got painted in that brush, where it wasn't doing anything outside to the structure. Really didn't need a survey done to make it, because we weren't changing the building location, and it was pretty obvious with the size of the lot that it was well within its parameters, like significantly within its parameters. So just even giving Dave or building inspector like that, just because he's got that good knowledge, if he's not comfortable, absolutely, it's something that we want people to avoid other problems. So yeah, and again, I think the city has been really good. Like, it's something, the city's attitude has been amazing with regards to they do want to grow, they do want to make things happen, and that's where too is I just want to kind of just encourage to keep that mindset. Just right now, we don't have many contractors in Dauphin, and so if you frustrate the few contractors that they are there, or de-incentivize them a bit, yeah, it's something too. Is fishing also looks really good on a summer day instead of dealing with concrete or something. So.
Councillor Sticilo?
Yeah, I just thank you. I just wanted to follow up. I appreciate the additional information that you've provided. I certainly know that one of the things that we pride ourselves in the city here is certainly the fact that we're developing and we're open for business, and we're wanting developers such as yourself to continue to build, and we're really appreciative that you have this isn't your first project or your second. It's multiple projects that you and your company have done, and it's grateful, and it's showing progression in our city. So this information is valuable for us. I know right now we're just going through our development plan review, our city plan review, and when it comes to zoning and the regulations and the information that's in there, there is certain regulations and legislation and procedures and stuff that we do need to adhere to and follow. But information like this is the stuff that we can take and try to make it a little more flexible for individuals and companies as such as yourself. So thank you for that.
Any other member? Yeah, Councillor Bellemare?
Yes, one question. So your place on Ash, I believe you used like modular units that you put in. So for the project that you have in line, are you building on site, or are you able to use some modulars in there as well?
So since last year, probably the price of steel has gone up in value or in price, and the wood has come down by about some wood's probably come down almost 200% in price. And so right now the cost benefit is actually more for wood. So we'd actually the information that we gained from doing the modular units, we're going to incorporate that in this, but we'd want to do a wood build. Yeah, and then but I do have interest in another organization that was looking at putting up a modular unit just because they really wanted that the strength and just that it's rust proof and mold proof and mostly dent proof. So they had a different clientele that they so I'm hoping to maybe do one modular unit this year, and then but our construction right now we're planning it as wood just for cost.
Any other councillor with comment or question? If not, I'll turn the floor back to you, Jay. Is there any final comments for us, or any other anything you want to add regarding the application?
Just want to again say thank you. It's something that just for some of the plans that you have in here with regards to allowing a duplex on almost any property, the grandma suites for different properties too. Like I think there's some really good tools here to help expand the city, and now we just need to get motivation, and we need to make sure that it's viable with financially so that we can get more contractors in. And I think the need is still great. If I had to guess, we're probably still at least 50 to 100 units short, and that's probably even the normal tenants. And then from affordable housing tenants, it's probably another 50 to 100. And so anything that we can do to encourage, and I guess I'd be open to helping too if there's also some grant applications that need to be done to help encourage and get some government money here too, that it benefits the city and would be good with that. So thank you.
Well, thank you. And if you want to, we have to deliberate and make a decision, and it probably won't take a long time. And if it does, we can let you know. But if you don't mind stepping out and hanging for a minute or two, we could probably give you a decision very close, very shortly. Thank you. So the motion by Councillor Sobering and seconded by Councillor Daly. Deliberation on the decision. We have to come up with a recommendation. So I just wanted to know if anyone has any comments, concerns regarding the application or the recommendation made or the information provided by administration. Councillor Sobering?
I guess the only thing I'd comment on, he's not far off the mark. I believe there is a huge housing shortage still for rentals, multi-unit. I was kind of surprised at how hard it is for some people. We are attracting newcomers and trying to get some employers or employees, and I've heard and I've witnessed firsthand people are lining up just to get a space, and it's pretty severe. I didn't realize how bad it was, but yeah, anytime they can put nice and new and fill that need, I think it's great. I mean, yeah. So yeah, I support. I looked over the plan. It looks like a good little multi-unit design. So
Thank you. Anyone else want to comment?
Just
Councillor Ray?
when I went on my little tour with Conrad, like there's a number of buildings that have been redone by different people. His seemed to stand out as really well done, like compared to some of the other ones, which might be a little more lipstick than. But yeah, no, I would agree with Steve.
Thank you. If there aren't any other comments from council, I'd like to should we move forward. Anyone? Let's call for the question then. If all those in favor of the application, anyone opposed? Seeing none, we'll call that motion carried. So moved by Councillor Stakilo, seconded by Councillor Ray. Be it resolved that council now reconvenes to our regular council meeting. I'll assume that everyone is okay with that. And moved by Councillor Ray. Moved by Councillor Ray, seconded by Councillor Sobering. Be it resolved that the public hearing for the variance 1205-221-600 BO 230101 for owner and applicant Credence Capital, represented by Jerry Wheeler for lot 1314, block 3, plan 420, which is 218 Buchanan Avenue, to vary the interior side yard setback to allow the construction for two single-story, 2,184 square foot threeplex dwellings in a residential multifamily zone to comply with the City of Dauphin zoning bylaw is concluded. And so that's all those in favor. Opposed, none, carried. So good to go. So thanks for the information as well about some of the recommendations you had regarding your experiences with the whole process. So we'll duly take those to heart and have discussions on that further on. We'll do that. So we're good to go. So thank you. Thanks, Jerry. And then further, the second motion regarding, moved by Councillor Daly, seconded by Councillor Sobering. Whereas at the regular meeting of the June 13th council, we approved the variance application for Jerry Wheeler, applicant of Credence Capital Inc., and care of John Urie for lot 13 and 14, block 3, plan 420, which is 218 Buchanan Avenue, to vary the interior yard setback from 3.5 meters to 2.44 meters, the corner side yard setback from 4.5 meters to 2.26 meters, and the rear yard setback from 7.5 meters to 1.5 meters, which will allow for the construction of two single-story, 2,158 square foot threeplex dwellings in a residential multifamily zone. The applicant has submitted a revised site plan reflecting a larger building size, which requires a revised variance. And whereas due notice was given with respect to variance application 1205-221-600, and whereas no objections to said applications were received, be it resolved the variance application to adjust the interior side yard setback from the original 3.5 to the proposed 2.13 meters was approved, and to allow the construction of the two single-story, 2,184 square foot threeplex dwellings in a residential area be approved with the following condition: that the outstanding conditions of the original variance order approved by council resolution 2022-325 on June 13th, 2022 are all still applicable. Questions or comments? Seeing none, we call for the question. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Man, that's a lot of reading stuff. Got to follow the rules. We'll move on then to the consent agenda. Agenda item number 5. We have a number of action items from our consent agenda. We have 3 proclamations. I'd like to call on the first reading of the proclamation, National Public Service Week, and that would be Councillor Ray.
Whereas by an act of Parliament in 1992, the third week of June was proclaimed as Public Service Week. And whereas public service employees from all 3 levels of government share a common link that sets them apart from employees in other sectors. And whereas it is their commitment to serve the citizens of our cities, provinces, and country with professionalism, expertise, and sensitivity to the challenges faced by an ever-changing public. And whereas public service employees should be thanked for their contributions to society, now, therefore, we, the Council of the City of Dauphin, do hereby proclaim June 11th to the 17th, 2023, as National Public Service Week, dated at the City of Dauphin in the province of Manitoba, this the 12th day of June, 2023.
Thank you, Councillor Ray. I'd like to move on to the next proclamation, the longest day of smiles, and that would happen to be our birthday boy, Councillor Sobering.
Whereas Operation Smile Canada is a global medical charity providing free, life-changing surgeries and medical care to children born with cleft conditions around the world. And whereas every 3 minutes a child is born with a cleft condition, and lack or access to safe, effective surgery means that easily treatable conditions like cleft palate can become fatal. And whereas Operation Smile Canada believes that every child born with a cleft condition deserves exceptional surgical care. And whereas the longest day of smiles will unite Canadians from coast to coast as they raise awareness and funds. And whereas on June 18th, 2023, the citizens of Dauphin are encouraged to learn more about how to support this worthy cause by visiting www.longestdayofsmiles.ca. And whereas our community can help celebrate the longest day of smiles by posting #longestdayofsmiles on social media. Now, therefore, we, the Council of the City of Dauphin, do hereby proclaim June 18th, 2023 as Longest Day of Smiles, dated June 12th, 2023, the City of Dauphin in the province of Manitoba.
Thank you very much, Councillor Sobering. And now the reading of the third proclamation regarding National Indigenous Peoples Day, Councillor Bellemare.
Thank you. Whereas this June 21st, National Indigenous Peoples Day, is the 27th anniversary of celebrating the heritage, diverse cultures, and valuable contributions of First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples to our country, province, and communities. And whereas National Indigenous Peoples Day is also an opportunity to come together to share the experience of Indigenous culture and traditional food, dance, storytelling, and games. And whereas collectively we recognize the courage of residential school survivors and their families and grieve the suffering and loss of Indigenous children found near the sites of Canada's residential schools. And whereas we believe that every child matters and that meaningful steps towards reconciliation in a spirit of respect, cooperation, and partnership are more important than ever before. Now, therefore, we, the Council of the City of Dauphin, do hereby proclaim June 21st, 2023 as National Indigenous Peoples Day, dated at the City of Dauphin in the province of Manitoba this 12th day of June 2023.
Thank you very much, Councillor Bellemare. Moving on, we have a outstanding water account added to our taxes. That it's roll number 0166100 in the amount of $223.48. The previous tenant did not pay the final utility bill. There was only one account in this report, so the total is $223.48. That's recommended by the Director of Finance and Utility Clerk. We have a number of filing items of note. The Prairie Mountain Health newsletter of June 2023. Information from the Minister of Municipal Relations regarding our 2023 municipal operating grant, the second payment of that grant. Some Manitoba news releases regarding the 2023 Senior of the Year Award and the Seniors Hearing Aid Programs. From Municipal Relations, a Smoke Alarm for Every Family program, and from Natural Resources and Northern Development, the New Aquatic Invasive Species Inspection Stations. Those are recommended by myself and the city manager. Be it resolved then, moved by Councillor Bellemare, seconded by Councillor Ray, be it resolved that all items listed and read under item 5, the consent agenda, be approved and form part of these minutes. Questions or comments by any members of council? Call for the question. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Seeing none. It's carried. Thank you. Moved by Councillor Daly, seconded by Councillor Stakilo. Be it resolved that council accepts as information the following corporate report for the June 12th, 2023 regular council meeting, and that's from the city manager, her report of May 2023. Any comments or questions regarding the report from any member of council? Seeing none, I'd like to call for that question. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? None. Carried. Thank you. Moved by Councillor Ray, seconded by Councillor Bellemare. Be it resolved that council accepts as information the corporate report for the June 12th meeting from our ICT manager. That's the report for May 2023. Questions or comments regarding the ICT report? Seeing none, call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? Thank you. Moved by Councillor Bellemare, seconded by Councillor Daly. Be it resolved that financial accounts, having been examined by council, be hereby authorized and approved as follows. We had 55 checks totaling $182,235.11. We had one voided check in the range, a check for $21.58. 58 cents, and it was a water refund. The customer did not move. And a voided check for $94.26. The check was reissued to the estate. We had 8 electronic payments in this run, totaling $189,804.84. Any questions or comments regarding the financial report? Seeing none, call for the question. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Moved by Councillor Stakilo, seconded by Councillor Sobring. Be resolved that council accepts as information the unaudited financial statements for the period ending in February of 2023, including our general fund balance sheet and income statement and the utility fund balance sheet and income statement. And you'll recall from the last council meeting that our Director of Finance is hurriedly catching up after the budget period to get the financial reports up to date. So these are the reports as indicated. Any questions or comments regarding those reports? Seeing none, call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? None? Carried. Thank you. Moved by Councillor Daly, seconded by Councillor Stakilo. Be resolved that council accepts as information the reserve report for the period ending of February 28, 2023. Questions or comments regarding that report? Any call for the question then? All those in favor? Opposed? Seeing none? Carried. Moved by Councillor Sobring, seconded by Councillor Stakilo. Be it resolved that council accepts as information the following staff engineering report for the June meeting from our building inspector for May of 2023. Questions or comments regarding the building inspector report? No. Call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? None. Carried. Moved by Councillor Bellemare, seconded by Councillor Stakilo. Be it resolved that council accepts as information the protective services report for the June 12th meeting from the bylaw enforcement officer, and that's for May of 2023. Question, Councillor Bellemare.
Yes, thank you. In the report, he mentioned attending a emergency pod meeting. Is there any information that could be shared about what that initiative is and where they're going with that?
So that was the emergency pod presentation. I think maybe Councillor Daly was present at that meeting where I think it happened in the council chambers discussing, yes. Can you,
Yeah, that was when we had with Drayton Valley and DNRC was here. So it was just on the pod housing, emergency pod housing. Drayton Valley just did a presentation for us and we just played the clip too. It was on CTV News. So that was,
So
That's
an
what that was.
information gathering session.
yes.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
And if I recall as well, I was at that meeting that building inspector was also there just to provide us a little bit of insight and background. Any other questions or comments? Call for the question then. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Thank you. Moved by Councillor Ray, seconded by Councillor Stakalo. Be it resolved that council accepts as information the Protective Services report for June 12th meeting from the Animal Control Officer. That's for May 2023. Any questions regarding the Animal Control Officer report? Call for the question. All those in favor? Carried. Moved by Councillor Bellemare, seconded by Councillor Stakalo. Be it resolved that council accepts as information minutes from the following committees: the Dauphin District Handy Van, their regular board meeting of February 21st, March 21st, and May 16th. The Dauphin District Allied Arts Council, regular meetings of February 28th, March 28th, and April 25th, pardon me. Dauphin Neighborhood Renewal Corporation, their board meetings of March 29th, April 26th, and May 31st. The Intermountain Watershed District, their regular committee meeting of April 20th, and the Dauphin Rec Services regular board meeting of May 31st. Any questions or comments from any councillors that are on those committees or have any questions regarding any of those minutes? Seeing none, call for the question then. All in favor to accept these reports? Anyone opposed? Carried. Motion by Councillor Stakalo, seconded by Councillor Daly, whereas Dauphin was selected as the host community for the 2020 Manitoba Summer Games, and event subsequently postponed due to COVID-19 restrictions and then rescheduled for August 11th to 17th, 2024. And whereas Sport Manitoba has agreed to contribute funds toward the capital and operating costs of the 2024 Manitoba Summer Games, and the host society, once again chaired by Clayton Swanton and Carla Wolfenden, will be responsible for executing the planning, organization, operation, and administration of these games. And whereas the City of Dauphin, as the municipal partner for the games, will be required to cover any financial shortfall in the event of a deficit incurred in fulfilling the hosting obligations. Be it resolved that council accepts as information a Dauphin 2024 Manitoba Summer Games multi-party agreement and a memorandum dated May 30th, 2023 from the city manager, noting that the agreement outlines the roles and responsibilities of Sport Manitoba, the municipal partner, and the host society in executing the games, and recommending that council endorses the agreement. Further be it resolved that council authorizes the Dauphin 2024 Manitoba Summer Games multi-party agreement to be signed and sealed by the mayor and the city manager on the behalf of the City of Dauphin. Any questions or comments from council regarding that agreement? Seeing none, I'll call for the question. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Moved by Councillor Stakalo, seconded by Councillor Ray, whereas the South Parkland Community Violence Threat Risk Assessment, VTRA, and intervention protocol reflects a commitment from the Mountain View School Division and partnering community agencies to share information and work together to mitigate the risks of violent acts in our school and our community. Be it resolved that council accepts the information, the South Parkland Community Violence Threat Risk Assessment and Intervention Protocol, and a memorandum dated June 8th from the Deputy City Manager, noting that the protocol requires partnering groups to respond to behaviors that may pose a potential risk for violence to children and youth, staff, and members of the community, so that early intervention can prevent violent incidents, and recommending that the City of Dauphin sign the protocol as a community partner. Further be resolved that council recognizes the value in pursuing a multi-agency approach into assessing and mitigating the threat of violence in our community, and authorizes the South Parkland Community Violence Threat Risk Assessment and Intervention Protocol to be signed by the mayor on behalf of the City of Dauphin. Questions or comments regarding this item? Call for the question then. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Seeing none? Carried. Thank you. Moved by Councillor Stakilo, seconded by Councillor Sobering. Be it resolved that approval is granted to the Parkland Chamber of Commerce to hold their annual street fair and dance on August 3rd, 2023, and for the closure of First Avenue Northwest and part of First Street Northwest from 6 a.m. Thursday, August the 3rd to 9 a.m. Friday, August the 4th, with conditions outlined in City Policy 3.1 and any condition as requested by the RCMP and Emergency Services. Further be it resolved that council waives the blanket license fee required of the Parkland Chamber of Commerce for the vendors participating in the displays and other vending booths for this event, with the Parkland Chamber of Commerce holding the City of Dauphin exempt from any liability that may arise from such event. Questions or comments? Call for the question. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Seeing none? Carried. Moved by Councillor Sobering, seconded by Councillor Stakilo. Be it resolved that council accepts as information the following invitations from the Assiniboine Community College, their graduation ceremony for June the 9th for the mayor, for the Lieutenant Colonel Barker Squadron Branch 50 annual ceremony review, which is being held on June the 17th, and the Habitat for Humanity Manitoba chapter, or Dauphin chapter, for their house tour on June the 19th and their key ceremony on June the 28th. Further be resolved that any expenses related to council and senior administration attending these events be borne by the City of Dauphin. Questions or comments about any of these requests? Councillor Bellemare?
What time is the house tour? My attachment opened wonky.
It's at 5 p.m.
Okay,
right in the middle
thank
of
you.
our meeting.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions or comments from council? All those in favor? Information request? Opposed? None? Carried. We'll view all of those and determine availability. Some of them are conflicting with some of the pre-booked meetings that council already has. The next motion moved by Councillor Bellemare and seconded by Councillor Stakilo. Be it resolved that council accepts as information community events listed below. Dauphin Neighborhood Renewal Corporation is having their community center grand opening on June the 16th. That's at 11 a.m. And the Parkland RCMP detachment has their community policing town hall meeting on Monday, June the 19th at 7 p.m. Those are, again, information for council that events are being held in the community. Any questions or comments from council regarding these two events? Call for the question then. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? None. Moved by Councillor Ray, seconded by Councillor Sobering. Be resolved that council accepts as information the councillors' reports for the regular council meeting of June the 12th. Before we vote on that motion, we should hear the reports. So let's start over here today with Councillor Daly.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just have to find it. Hey, where did it go?
You're okay? We'll go to Councillor
No, I'm
Ray.
good.
You're good,
I'm good.
Councillor Daly?
Good.
I know you've been away and you're probably on East Coast time, but
Yeah, I could use a nap. I attended last council meeting, May 29th. Then met with the Parkview Lodge project working group on May 31st to discuss planning and furtherance of project ideas for the Parkview Lodge with respect to mental health, addiction, and homelessness issues. That work will be going on for a while, but we're off to a good planning start. I also attended that same day the DNRC board meeting, minutes of which are attached to this agenda. I also had discussion with them to ask if they would consider revisiting, taking on a look at public transportation in the community, and they've agreed to do that. So they'll be, I think their first order of business will be try and reach out to a number of stakeholders to see if they can pull them into a meeting and start a process going forward. Be nice if we could get something moving by winter, for sure. But they agreed to do it, and we'll keep monitoring that. I've spent time over the last two weeks as well working with some people on crime prevention strategies and community safety. And again, mentioning DNRC's grand opening on Friday. If everybody could find time between 11 and 1 to drop by, that'd be great. Next week, I'll be speaking at the Manitoba Association of Municipal Emergency Coordinators Conference in Winnipeg on the 20th on working relationships between municipal emergency coordinators and councils. And that's my report. My report respectfully submitted. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Daly. Councillor Ray?
Thank you, Mayor Bosiak. On the 29th, I attended the regular council meeting. On the 31st, in the morning, I attended the rec committee meeting at the Cup, and later that afternoon, I was part of the Parkview Lodge meeting that Councillor Daly mentioned. June 5th, I attended the video presentation here in council chambers regarding the People Peer Navigator project out of Kelowna. And June 7th, I was part of the Vitra agreement signing with MVSD here at City Hall. And on the weekend, I participated in the Dauphin Kings Par 3 golf fundraiser tournament. Didn't win a prize, but had a lot of fun. It was well attended, and it was a great event. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Councillor Ray. Councillor Bellemare?
And I'm sure they thank you for your contribution. Yes. On May 31st, I attended an excellent online session with CMNCP on library safety with the library staff. And CMNCP is the group that we are going to be developing our community safety plan with. And library safety is an issue that many libraries across the country are facing. And while there have been a couple of minor incidents in our library is a very safe place to be. And if you happen to be there and you have any concerns, please let the staff know and they will ably assist you. I attended some cemetery board meetings on June 5th, 9th, and 13th. And on the 7th, I attended the signing at City Hall for the VRTA assessment. And so we are now partnering with Mountain View School Division on this, as well as various community partners that allows groups to work together. So this is a great step forward. The DR Grad is occurring on Saturday, September 24th. The new tradition of having a parade down Main Street on Saturday afternoon will continue this year. This tradition was introduced during COVID and people love it. So they're going to continue with it. So congratulations to all the grads and best wishes for a successful, meaningful future. And thank you to Manitobans who work in our public service, that is, people who work at the various levels of governments in our country. Your talents, skills, and hard work are greatly appreciated. We have some of them in this room here, and they are being honored with a barbecue on Wednesday in our community. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Bellemare. Councillor Sticilo?
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. For myself, May 29th, regular council meeting. And I'm not sure how, but just, well, I know how, just due to some conflicting schedules. That was it for me for any meetings that I attended in the past 2 weeks. I do, however, want to just commend city staff and DRS staff for getting the community looking really fantastic. I've had a few people that from out of town visit Dauphin in the past couple of weeks and just saying how beautiful the community is and how nice it's looking already. And we're into June here. As the summer progresses, the city just gets more beautiful as the months roll on. I do also I'm going to put a plug in for. I know we've had the disc golf going here for a bit, but I went out for my first time last night. I only lost one disc, so I'm quite happy about that. And it wasn't even mine; it was my son's disc, so that's okay. But it was a lot of fun. It's another great asset that we have in the community here, and it's just. I see good things for it. And in talking to the economic development manager today, he mentioned that I guess the tee boxes or the starting points for each hole are in and will be installed shortly, so people won't have to guess where each of the holes start by just the red peg that you're at the correct hole. But anyway, fantastic work and kudos to everybody involved in keeping our city beautiful and looking great. And that's all for me today. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Sticalo. Councillor Sobring.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor, for saving the best for last. This is it's my birthday today, so I get a little extra license. I was absent from the May 29 PMP meeting, but I did attend on May the 31st the Age-Friendly Dauphin Committee at the Active Living Center, and it's just evaluates Dauphin to see how friendly we are as a community for seniors. And one of the issues that always keeps popping up again and again is transportation, and we had some really good discussion about that and a number of other issues. And I think all in all, it was a really great meeting, well attended, a lot of good input. On the June 7th, I attended the Vitra signing at City Hall. On June 5th, 9th, and 12th, I attended a Riverside Cemetery board meeting. The previous week, June 5th and 9th, was Bike Week. And I just want to put out a big kudos to everybody. I know Councillor Ray did a tremendous job promoting it from the Active Living and Transportation Committee. I know Mayor Boziak was out there. I feel like he's just still trying to get people on those fat bikes at every possible opportunity. And I know he led a group of newcomers through the Northgate Trail system. And so big thanks to every group that participated in that. Dauphin Derailers, Cycling Club, Dauphin Rec Services, Chamber of Commerce, the schools that give away the packages, and just City Hall and staff for the promotions on our social media channels. So I think it was really great to see everyone come together and promote it, and I think it was a big success. And that ends my report.
Thank you, Councillor Sobring. Just to conclude, there was a couple of things that I attended the Mountain View School Division of Strategic Planning discussion a week ago. Some thoughtful discussion at that event. Also wanted to just announce that we passed a resolution of the invitation from the ACC grad, but I attended the grad ceremonies on Friday and was quite enthused about the number of graduates. There was over 67 graduates this year, which is a fairly significant number for them. And of note, the nursing graduate numbers were pleasantly high. And I know I spoke with several of the instructors, and they were very keen on the class this particular year, and they're looking forward to another cohort next year, starting in the fall. And so that bodes well. Anecdotally, that a huge proportion of them will be staying in the community or in the area. So again, that's good for us. I also just want to announce there's a couple of things. As Councillor Sobring mentioned, Bike Week I think was. Again, it took a step up this year compared to previous years, a little bit more activity, a little bit more engagement. We have a cycle club in town that's a little bit more mature, and it was able to participate and help with Dauphin Rec Services and others. I'd like to just shout out to the Fusion Credit Union for being out in the community on their group bike during the week, and they hosted a Tuesday morning thing in their parking lot with coffee and cookies, and took some rides through Vermilion Park. I would also commend what Councillor Sticalo was saying about disc golf. The trails in Vermilion Park, like up at Northgate, but there's a tremendous asset right in our community that I think a lot of people are just oblivious to. They drive by it every day, and I know a few people will eat lunch there, but there's a splash pad and washrooms and people camping there and a great trail system. And there's amazing ferns in the back part of the park that and along the river that are it's jungle like through the trails. And Rec Service is doing an admirable job of keeping those trails in great shape. And so it's a tremendous asset in the community. And spending last week on my bike, like I spend most weeks on my bike, but last week I spent quite a bit more time in town just riding around. And I was, I spent hours on my bike in different neighborhoods and just looking around. And I think that seeing the number of bike carriers in the back of vehicles and there's a number of bikes in the community in general, it bodes well for us as an active transport kind of community. And then finally, just upcoming this Saturday on the 17th, the Riding Mountain Biosphere Committee, so it's a group of people all around Riding Mountain National Park, will be coming to Dauphin for a meeting. We're going to be touring Vermilion Park because Vermilion Park is an OECM designated site. That's Nature Conservancy of Canada is going to be spending some time and energy and maybe a little bit of money in our community on maintaining some of the natural vegetation. And so they'll be visiting Vermilion Park. We'll also be touring Vermilion growers. And surprise, surprise, we're going to have a wiener roast up at Northgate. So who knows, Steve, I might get them on some fat bikes as well, since they're up there. But that's it for me. So thank you, everyone, for your reports. I'd like to call for the question. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Carried. And moving on, moved by Councillor Ray, seconded by Councillor Daly, that the council meeting is recessed.